Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So, the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else. It's not gonna happen in 2 weeks. It's not gonna happen in 3 weeks. It's not gonna happen by you following one training block in a program and then disappearing for 3 months. It requires you to be consistent over weeks and over months. And it requires you to be consistent with the right type of nutrition that you need to be eating to make those muscle fibers get thicker and stronger. And it requires you to rest and recover. If you rush this entire process by overtraining or by not eating enough, you not only risk injury by overtraining, but your body is not going to help you to recover the way you should, and is actually going to slow your progress. What's going on, you guys? Hey, most resolutions fail because people wait for January to feel ready. That's not you, not this year. So in this episode, we put together a mashup of straight up actionable advice to crush your New Year goals starting right now. No fluff, no empty promises, just strategies to reflect, plan, and actually stick to what you said you'd do. You don't need January 1 to start leveling up. Let's make this year your best year yet. Let's go. Well, we're going to talk about a crucial concept here. The time that it takes to see results and why zooming out and playing the long game is so essential for sustainable success along your fitness journey. So I have a couple questions because I think we've all been here and we've all experienced this, but how many of you guys have felt frustrated because you weren't seeing immediate results from like a fitness program that you were following? Maybe you're a WarriorBabe and you're like, hey, I've been in this for 2 months and I'm not seeing the results that I want to see. Keep listening. Maybe you've been eating right. Maybe you've been working out consistently, but the scale just won't budge, or the muscle definition that you're hoping to see just is taking so freaking long, right? This is a frustration that you have experienced, I've experienced, a lot of us have experienced at some point. And it's easy to get so freaking caught up in the desire for the quick fix and the instant gratification. And like what I say is pop your body into a microwave and out in 30 seconds, you guys are expecting to have a toned body and dropping 5% body fat and seeing more muscle definition. Especially too, though, I think it's not just the instant gratification that a lot of people want. It's also the abundance of like before and after photos that everybody sees and the quick transformation stories and people's successes all over social media. Yeah, people don't show like the hard work and the behind the scenes. And, if you go to I'm kind of faulty at this. When you go to my Instagram, you see me, what I look like now, and me sharing advice and tips and strategies. But like, there's no way that this present day I could show you, other than going through all of my pictures and old videos of the 9 years that I've put in, unless you've been following me for that long, right? Like a lot of people just come to my Instagram that are new and they're like, oh, like this person just has a good body. But like, no, like it took me 9 years to be here where I am today. And with the consistent effort and hard work over that time, I didn't have this body 8 years ago, right? Building muscle is a slow process because it requires consistent strength training, consistent resistance training, resistance on the muscles. It requires you to have adequate protein intake on a daily basis, and it requires you to give your body proper recovery, which is hard for a lot of people. Those 3 things are hard for a lot of people because I typically hear the objection of like, I'm too busy and I don't have enough time to go work out, or I'm too busy in the day and I don't have time to meal prep or eat, enough protein, or I don't know what foods have protein in it, or I don't know how much protein I should be eating. Or in terms of proper recovery, people just love to go ham 6 days a week. And like, you can't build muscle going ham 6 to 7 days a week because muscle fibers need time to repair and grow stronger. When you lift weights, you create these tiny muscle fiber tears. When you're working out, you're breaking down the muscle. You're not building it up. You build it up post-workout and with the recovery and the nutrition that you eat. So every single time that you work out, you're creating these tiny tears in your muscle fibers. Your body repairs those tears, making those muscle fibers thicker and stronger in the process of recovery. The repair isn't instant though. It requires consistent training over months and weeks and combined with adequate nutrition and rest. So just because you go in, I think this is this is what a lot of people think. I know I did the beginning of my journey, so I feel like I can say this, is I went into the gym for like 2 weeks and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm going to get muscle and I'm going to be toned. And then I wouldn't go anymore. Like I wouldn't be consistent. It requires you, in order to build back those muscle fibers to make them thicker and stronger, that is a huge process to undertake. And the process isn't instant. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen in 3 weeks. It's not going to happen by you following one training block in a program and then disappearing for 3 months. It requires you to be consistent over weeks and over months. And it requires you to be consistent with the right type of nutrition that you need to be eating to make those muscle fibers get thicker and stronger. And it requires you to rest and recover. If you rush this entire process by overtraining or by not eating enough, you not only risk injury by overtraining, but your body is not going to help you to recover the way you should, and is actually going to slow your progress. So if you're doing 7 days a week, if you're doing tons and tons and tons of cardio, yet your goal is to be more toned and build muscle, and then you're also only eating 1,000 calories a day, you risk burnout, you risk hurting yourself, and you actually slow down your progress, because you need the right type of food to recover and to build back the muscle fibers thicker and stronger. You need the consistent training and the right type of training and not doing too much. I always say, a lot of people can't believe when I say that you need to do less, not more, especially if you are in the age range of 45, 50, 55, 60, 65 or older. It's about doing less, not more. You can't do what you were doing at 20, 30 years old anymore. It's talking about a different approach, talking about a strategic approach that actually works for you in this year and your years of life, rather than what worked for you 20 years ago. And you can still get the same type of results that you had 20 years ago. But anyway, and then if you're eating 1,000 calories and you're not resting, this whole process can't happen. So it just slows it down. If you're doing all of those things in terms of overtraining, not eating enough, and you're doing that consistently over time rather than doing it the right way, and you think that you're speeding up your progress, you're not. You're slowing it down. So just think about you doubling the time it's actually going to take you to get results. So if you expect to see results in a year doing it this way, expect it to take 2 years, or expect it to take even longer, because depending on the body that I'm thinking of, or the human that I'm thinking of, in terms of whatever may be a factor into you getting the results, if you're doing this, it's going to take you longer, period, point blank, end of story. It takes time. So I want to really talk about what trusting the process really looks like and dive into that. And you've probably heard that phrase over and over and over and over again, especially in the fitness world, like trust the process. Your coach says, trust the process. You've been telling yourself, trust the process. Like, what does that actually mean? The concept of trusting the process and why patience and trusting the process are the real keys to like you unlocking the true potential within yourself. And it has nothing really to do with macros. It has nothing to do with workouts. Like, this is more so the mindset aspect of this podcast. If you can accept that's the key to unlocking your potential along your journey, that's all I hope that you take away from this podcast, and truly understanding the patience that is required of you to trust the process. Okay. So first, let's break it down into what does trusting the process really mean? So I think personally that this phrase gets thrown around a lot without people fully understanding the true depth of it. It's very surface level when people say it. It's like, you got to trust the process. But trusting the process means believing in the journey that you're on wholeheartedly, even when you don't see the immediate results that you want to. It's about sticking to your plan, whether it's your workout routine, whether it's your nutrition, whether it's your overall approach, whether it's like saying your overall, the language that you're saying to yourself, the narrative that you're telling yourself, the beliefs that you're breaking. It's sticking to that plan because you understand that real progress takes time. When you trust the process, you're essentially committing to a long-term vision for yourself. And this is where I think a lot of people like it breaks, because people get into it wanting to see immediate results like next week or the week after. And so when that vision doesn't happen for them, they get frustrated or discouraged that that this isn't working. And so they try and change everything up. You have to essentially commit yourself to a long-term vision. Like you have to basically tell yourself at the start that this is going to take 12 months. This is going to take 18 months. This is going to take 2 years. This is going to take 5 years, like wherever you're at. Like if you have 100 pounds to lose, like it's going to take time. You didn't just put those 100 pounds on. If you have the last 10 pounds to lose, okay, mind you that the last 10 pounds is sometimes the hardest to lose. So you have to give yourself that time. Like you have to really commit, like be realistic with yourself and commit to the long-term vision. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a week. Like you have to be willing to put in the work consistently, even when it feels like nothing is happening. And I know that can be tough. I know that we live in a world that values quick results, but you can get same day delivery on just about everything in this world. You can get same day delivery on everything in this world. You can binge watch an entire series on one weekend. You get Amazon Prime the next day. And you're constantly exposed on social media to before and after photos of these transformations that seem to happen in a matter of weeks. But listen to me loud and clear. Fitness, health, like true transformations, they don't work like that. There's some people that are promoting those things online that happen in 3 months or 6 months, but there's also probably a handful of people that aren't being promoted on social media that are taking a year and 2 years. That is seriously what we pride ourselves on in WarriorBabe. We pride ourselves on that, we celebrate the women that have had results no matter where along their journey, but especially the ones that have been with us for 2 years and have had a true blown full-on life transformation. Your body, all in all, to say this, like really what it means is believing the journey you're on. You have to believe the journey you're on. And I think that's really hard for people to understand when they're also just at the start of their journey. Like the belief in self is hard to come by. So like why I think working with a coach or like finding a program that you love to do and that you're going to commit to yourself to doing it is that you buy belief. Like the coach is there believing in you already before you believe in yourself. So that helps to trust the process a little bit more. But it's not only it's believing in yourself and believing the journey that you're on, but it's also sticking to your plan, regardless of like if you're seeing results or not, because you have to understand that progress takes time, that you have to commit yourself to that long-term vision, and that you're understanding that your body takes time to adapt, it takes time to change, and it takes time to grow stronger. And that's where patience comes into play. So quick break. If you're finding this episode helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you could hit pause for just a second, leave a quick rating or a review, or share it with someone who could benefit from it. Your support helps more women discover these tools to build muscle, lose fat, and feel confident. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. Thoughts become things. So this means that the thoughts that you think on a daily basis shape your actions and eventually your results. If your thoughts are negative, if they are self-limiting, or if they're filled with doubt, they're going to manifest in behaviors that undermine you and your fitness goals, whether that's like skipping a workout, overeating, making poor food choices, excuse after excuse. I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. So to break it down to like science, when you repeatedly think certain thoughts, they create these neural pathways in your brain, making those thoughts habitual. And over time, your thoughts become automatic and your brain operates in a kind of default mode. So if you constantly tell yourself that you can't achieve your fitness goals, you are programming your mind to find ways to make that belief true. Okay. But the good news is too, that you can, just as you develop those limiting thoughts, you can also reprogram your mind to think differently. And that's what I love so much about the WarriorBabe program and what we've built over the last 6 years, and just have continued to optimize it and improve it and redefine it. Is it's not just like, hey, here's your workout program and here's your nutrition protocol that you have to follow. It's like, let me understand where this human, a babe, we call them our clients babes, at the other end of on my Zoom call, right, that the coaches coach, We tell them the coach shows up to the Zoom call on onboarding and they're meeting the client where they are at. And every single client is drastically different. That client's going to have different thoughts, different narratives, different limiting beliefs. Maybe they are self-limiting. Maybe they're filled with doubt. Maybe they're like positive and hopeful and energetic and they're super excited about, their journey moving forward and that they signed up and, they can't wait. Or like I said, self-limiting or filled with doubt and they think they can't do this. Like then it is the coach's job to hear this, see that this is how the human is operating in terms of thoughts, and know, like that's where the professional comes into play, is like know that these thoughts are not going to be conducive for a successful journey moving forward. So I need to help this human, the coach needs to help this human to reprogram her mind to think differently. And that's where we're breaking old habitual thoughts and habitual patterns and habitual actions. But it starts up here first, the thoughts, the emotions, the actions. Thoughts first, we're breaking those. We have to rebuild them. We have to reprogram them. And we have to create better behavior changes, which comes from the emotions, which then go into the actions that are going to get you to where you want to be, that are going to help you to be successful. That's why it's so much more than just a freaking, here's your workout program to follow. Here's an app that you have all of your workouts to do, sets, reps. Here's your macro numbers that you have to go, follow and apply. If you have self-limiting beliefs around nutrition, you think you're going to go follow those macros? No. If you have self-doubt or negative narratives going on in your brain about how you feel in your body, so thoughts, feelings, do you think that you're going to go to the gym to do your workout? No. And there's going to be, you may be excited. Maybe the person I talked about that's super excited and hopeful and has all the faith in the world at the beginning of their journey, but then guaranteed 2 months, once it kind of starts to level out and those emotions dip, you're going to feel these thoughts. And that's where you're going to have a coach to be able to like hear you saying those words and help to reprogram that type of mindset, because it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to be as successful as you want moving forward. I think that the affirmations are one of the most important ones. You can do visualization. Visualization is definitely a little bit harder for people to do, but it's a very powerful tool when it comes to reprogramming your mind. How I do this is I write out who I want to be. And I'm currently not that person, right? But I actually have like a slew, like I have like a page definition of who I want to be, of how I'm operating differently from now, I'm still like in the healing journey of like figuring things out, but I know future me has figured it out and this is how she operates. So for you, it's like, okay, I'm stuck in a painful, feeling in my body. I'm not happy with it. So who do you want to be? What does that person look like? What is she doing? How is she showing up? How is she acting differently? And you want to visualize her from that. So imagine yourself lifting heavier weights, eating your macros, eating healthy foods, feeling confident and strong. So you can take a few minutes. You can either think about it like this. You don't have to write it down. You can either think about that person. Might be a little bit harder to do because, again, current state. But you can either just sit and meditate on that person, or if you want to write it out like you did the affirmations, you can write out the visualization either in your notepad on your phone, or you could write it on paper, and you can read that every day and taking a few minutes to visualize yourself reaching those goals. And this primes your brain to start looking for opportunity to make those visualizations a reality. So all in all, to say in this podcast, you guys, I think this is a really good one. And these are some concepts that are hard to understand. So if you need to listen to this podcast again, I would highly recommend it. Or if you need to listen to Joe Dispenza, I would highly recommend it too as well. So takeaway is your thoughts and feelings have a direct impact on your actions. And if you shift your mindset, you can unlock your full potential when it comes to the goals that you're striving for and who you want to become. So everything starts in your mind, whether it's a strength training workout that you have to go do, whether it's I need to track my macros at the end of the day, or I need to make sure my macros are aligned for the day, whether it's, achieving the goals that you set out to achieve. Everything starts in your mind. Everything else, the workouts and macros, that's all the tool and the resource to get you there. But if you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do it. If you believe you can, you will go do it. And it starts there. You have the power to change the way you think and feel about your journey. It is all in your control. If you reprogram your mind to believe in your strength, in your abilities, to visualize your success, to take consistent action that is aligned with those thoughts, the body you want, the results you want is so freaking possible. But it all starts here. All right, guys? So go do what you got to do to get more aligned with yourself, to rewire your thoughts, do those affirmations. I'm telling you, do it. And then write down a future you. And go find, if you don't know how to do it, go Google how to do it. Or if you're a WarriorBabe, go talk to your coach about how to do it. All right? Go do it. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace out. Hey, really quick, before you go, I have one small favor to ask. If this episode brought you value or sparked something in you, take just a moment to hit that review button. Your rating and review make all of the difference, helping more women discover the tools they need to transform the fitness and their confidence. It takes less than a minute, but it can change the path of someone else's journey. Thank you so much for leaving that review. I appreciate you so much.